The mystery of the Widow's Tower. Some stories are so powerful, they refuse to die. They latch onto stone and shadow, becoming more than just legends. They become warnings. The story of the Widow's Tower is one of those. It's a tale whispered in different languages, on different continents. But the shape of the fear is always the same. A woman's grief, a sealed tower, and a light that should not exist. They say for nearly half a century, the tower has been locked away, a monument to a widow's sorrow. But every night, a single light flickers to life in the highest window. The story says she's still in there, waiting for a family that never came home. But the truth is darker than a simple ghost tale. It's a story of disappearances, of explorers who ventured inside seeking answers, only to become part of the mystery themselves. They say those who enter the Widow's Tower never come back the same, if they come back at all. Section 1. The Archetype of Sorrow. The Widow's Tower isn't just one place. It's more of a dark fairy tale written into the architecture of our world. The story always begins with a devastating loss. A wealthy family, a sudden tragedy, and a lone survivor, the widow, who retreats from the world, sealing herself inside the tallest part of her home. Her grief is so immense, it becomes a physical presence, a curse that clings to the stones. For years, the tower stands silent. Locals avoid it. But then, the reports begin. A flickering light in a long abandoned room. A figure silhouetted against a dusty window. This is the legend. But what's truly unsettling is how many real places across the globe seem to fit this terrifying pattern. These aren't just stories. They are real locations, steeped in tragedy, where the line between history and horror has completely blurred. From the American Midwest to the crumbling chateau of France, the story of the Widow's Tower feels terrifyingly real, and it has been waiting for us to find it. Section 2. Echoes in Stone. Our journey begins in Kansas City, Kansas, at a mansion that seems ripped directly from the legend, Sour Castle. Built around 1871, this towering Italianate villa has every element of the story. It's a grand, decaying home, dominated by a 4-story tower. For decades, it fell into disrepair and became the subject of local ghost stories. Paranormal investigators and locals have reported strange lights in the tower and, more chillingly, the apparition of a woman seen pacing on the Widow's Walk. The Widow's Walk itself is a real architectural feature, but its story is more complex than the folklore suggests. The romantic image is of a railed rooftop platform where the wives of sea captains would watch the horizon, praying for their husband's safe return. While they were used as lookouts, these platforms also served a much more practical purpose: firefighting. Often built around a chimney, they gave homeowners quick roof access to put out chimney fires, a common danger at the time. The lore around Sour Castle is fueled by genuine family tragedies, including the original owner, Anton Sauer, dying in the home, followed by other family deaths in subsequent years. However, many popular accounts tend to exaggerate these events, blending fact with sensational folklore. Though the castle is currently undergoing major renovations with plans to open it to the public, the legends persist. This pattern isn't confined to America. Across the Atlantic in France stand countless abandoned castles haunted by a figure known as the Dame Blanche, or the White Lady. At the Château de Puy-Martin, legend says the ghost of Thérèse de Saint-Clar has been trapped within the tower walls since the 16th century, after her husband discovered her with a lover. In Normandy, at the Château de Falaise, a white lady is said to haunt the halls, guarding the castle's secrets. These are long-standing folklore, with spirits of women who suffered a profound loss or betrayal, their apparitions forever tied to the stone towers where their tragedies supposedly unfolded. The story is the same: a woman, a tower, and a grief so powerful it outlives death itself. Section 3. They never came back the same. The legend of the Widow's Tower always carries a dire warning for those who dare to cross the threshold. It speaks of explorers who enter seeking thrills or answers, but emerge psychologically broken. While many such stories are modern fiction, one place on Earth has a documented history so strange, it gives terrifying weight to this part of the legend. Hauska Castle in the Czech Republic. Hauska Castle is an anomaly. According to popular paranormal narratives, it was built in the 13th century in a remote forest, with no water source and no nearby trade routes. Its fortifications don't face outward to repel invaders. They face inward, as if to contain something. Legend claims the castle was constructed over a bottomless pit in the ground, a chasm locals called the Gateway to Hell, from which demonic, half-animal creatures would crawl out at night. While historians suggest the castle likely served as an administrative center, the folklore is what has defined it. The most disturbing tale associated with the pit mirrors the fate of explorers in the myth. As the story goes, a local duke offered a pardon to a condemned prisoner if he would be lowered by rope into the hole to report what he saw. He agreed, but after descending into the darkness for only a few moments, he began screaming. When pulled back up, his hair had turned white, and he looked as if he had aged 30 or 40 years. He was driven insane by what he witnessed and reportedly died in an asylum just days later. This tale, while only a legend and not a documented historical event, is a terrifying real-world example of the myth of an explorer who entered a mysterious place and never came back the same. This theme of psychological torment echoes at other sites, like the ruins of Bancroft Castle on Gibbet Hill in Groton, Massachusetts. While local lore tells a familiar tale of a man building a castle for his wife who died before its completion, historical records show it was actually abandoned for lack of funds in 1906. The name Gibbet itself means gallows, and though there are no substantiated claims of executions there, the name has fueled ghost stories for years. Visitors have reported disturbing visions, with some claiming to see apparitions of colonial figures with missing limbs, or even a dismembered foot in a green sock. These anecdotal accounts leave visitors with a deep sense of dread, reinforcing the idea that some places can change you just by being in them. The legends of Hauska Castle raise an unsettling question. Are some places built not for shelter, but for containment? Are there other gateways hidden across the world, sealed away and forgotten? Let me know your theories in the comments below. And if you're intrigued by the world's hidden mysteries, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next investigation. Section 4. The Moment of Ruin. A tower of sorrow can't exist without a moment of profound tragedy. For a castle to become a time capsule of grief, its lifeblood must be cut off suddenly and violently. History is filled with these moments of ruin, where grandeur gives way to abandonment overnight. Think of how many legends are born from a single brutal event. A family massacre that leaves a castle frozen in time as a monument to a lost bloodline. In Romania, the magnificent Corvin Castle was struck by lightning in 1854, and the fire that followed left it a damaged, abandoned shell for years, creating a vacuum for ghost stories to fill. Sometimes the ruin is slower. A neo-gothic manor in England can be lived in for a century, only to sit silently decaying by a lake today. its ornate ceilings and stained glass windows surrendering to the elements. These are the events that birth legends: sudden violence, acts of God, or the slow creep of decay. They all create the perfect conditions for ghost stories to take root. This archetype is so ingrained in our collective consciousness that it even appears in fiction, like the infamous Harrenhal in Game of Thrones, whose widow's tower was renamed after a king was burned alive within it, leaving it a cursed and abandoned ruin. The pattern is undeniable. Great loss can transform a home into a tomb and a tower into a headstone. Section 5. The Modern Explorer. Today, the investigation of these places has been taken up by a new kind of adventurer, the urban explorer. Armed with cameras, they slip through broken fences and shattered windows, documenting these forgotten worlds for the rest of us. Their footage is often haunting. They walk through halls where family portraits still hang on the walls, and four-poster beds remain unmade, as if the owners simply vanished. One explorer, walking through a decaying English manor, whispered to his camera, "This is crazy, super historic and just left to its own demise." His words capture the unsettling feeling these places evoke, a sense of sacredness and violation all at once. It is through their lenses that the legend of the Widow's Tower gets its modern fuel. They are the ones who capture the rocking horse that seems to move on its own, the eerie music box that plays in an empty room, or the unexplained flicker of light in a supposedly dead tower. They chase the ghosts of history, sometimes finding that those ghosts are more than just stories. Conclusion. So what is the mystery of the Widow's Tower? It's not a single location you can pinpoint on a map. It's a story that history tells over and over again. It's Sour Castle in Kansas, with its local legends of a lonely figure on the Widow's Walk. It's the Dames Blanches of France, forever bound to their stone prisons in folklore. And it's Hauska Castle, a place central to a legend about containing a terror so profound that seeing it could supposedly age a man decades in a few horrifying seconds. These towers are monuments to the most powerful human emotion, grief. They are reminders that when love is lost, something is left behind. A presence, an energy, a story that waits in the dark. The real mystery isn't whether a widow's ghost is still looking out the window. The mystery is what other stories, what other sorrows, are still sealed away in the forgotten corners of our world, just waiting for the next explorer to come looking.